You might be in a position where you started your IT journey 10, 20 years ago, and you kind of left it at that. Maybe you completed a certification, maybe you completed a degree, maybe you didn't even step foot into the field. All of these things could have happened years ago, and you're now coming back to the field and you're wondering, what can I do? Am I able to get a job in IT after all of these years? I've run across many people in the industry who have had this exact experience happen with them. They started college and maybe they got their associate's degree, and for whatever reason, they had to go a completely different direction. They weren't able to actually follow their IT journey. This happens all of the time. Here's this exact question right here from TechGPT-ET. What's the best way to get back to the field after quite some time looking after sick family members? Thanks. I get this question a lot. Yeah, sometimes you might have to take care of, sick family, and you have to put your career on hold, you have to put your studies on hold. Life happens, right? And this is the biggest fear from people who are coming back to the industry or trying to get in the industry, is gaps of employment or gaps of education, if you will. And I am here to tell you that you have absolutely nothing to worry about, quite honestly. And in part, you actually do, but I'm going to be just 100% and real and honest with you. If you ever step foot into an interview and anybody gives you a hard time about your gap in employment or your gap in education or any type of just crap for not having a job for any amount of time, you could basically go tell them to F themselves. Quite honestly, if they are going to give you a hard time, that is a clear indication that they have no value of your personal life, of your personal time and what happens in your life, because that is outside of work. It doesn't matter what happens in your life, right? Like, your life circumstances are not an employer's business. Does not matter. So I'm telling you, quite frankly, if an employer is giving you a hard time about that, you don't want to work there. A reasonable organization with a reasonable manager or a boss won't care. They're not going to care whether or not you had a gap in your employment. Things happen. They're going to care what they see right now, then and there. They are going to care what your resume shows, just as far as what kind of experience and skills you have. But, there could be very good reasons why you have a gap in your employment, and that's okay. It is none of their business. But if you feel so inclined to share that with them, you don't have to give them very much detail. You could just pretty much say, I had personal life decisions or personal life issues, or things happen that I had to take care of them, and I wasn't able to do X, Y, and Z during that time. But maybe during that time I studied these things. You could say something like that. But at the end of the day, doesn't matter. So to go back to this comment that we got on YouTube and to highlight what we got here from Chase, who is responding back, and thank you to the community out there who does respond back to comments and provide your feedback. Like, this is what the community is all about. So thank you for sharing your advice here, Chase. So Chase Face says, I think most employers are understanding of extenuating circumstances involving caring for a sick family member. It's not an instant disqualification, and they actually had a few gaps in their work history on their resume because they worked dead-end retail jobs that didn't feel relevant to the job, so they didn't include them. And the recruiter asked them directly if it was due to a death in the family or some medical thing. When I told them that it wasn't the case, it didn't seem to matter, as they liked me enough to offer them the job anyway. But they said they said they had the energy of, I'm trying to give you the benefit of the doubt. Hope this helps. And then they put, edit, to answer your question, I'd say having mention of a lab and showing recent certs completed and progress planned are good to denote past, present, future progress, will show initiative and interest. And they said they got through the recruiting company, which made it very easy compared to filling out endless company website application. That took me a while to get through, but ultimately, I completely agree with everything that this person had said there. So thank you, Chase, for providing your feedback. I just wanted to address this question really quick because it's something that I get quite often, and there does seem to be a lot of confusion around, whether or not it's going to be looked as a good thing or a bad thing. And I'm just going to reiterate for the 17th time in this video that if an employer is giving you a hard time about these things, that is not the employer that you want to work for. You don't want to work for that business. You do not want to even go anywhere near close at all to that organization if they don't care about your personal, life, if you will. So hopefully this helps. Good luck to you out there if you are in this position. And I hope you find an organization, an employer that values you as a human being, because that doesn't seem to be a thing these days. They're, as much of a thing. Anyway, as always, take it easy.